Hi, good morning.
Good
Oh,
morning.
there's a clock right here. I was just saying I don't have a clock to know what time it is, and there's one right here. I like to talk, so I may run over a little bit. So it's everyone's favorite topic, food. I love talking about food, and you guys just had a lovely breakfast. I took a look outside, some good healthy stuff out there. So we're going to talk about how to start eating healthy step by step. And I know that sounds like a very simple topic. When you start kind of digging into it a little bit, it's not always so simple. Who in here tries to eat healthy? Yay, fantastic. I'm sure no one's going to say, no, I don't try to eat healthy. No one's really going to admit to doing that, right? Although it is kind of the not so healthy eating season right now. So let me figure out how to do this. There we go. All right, so eating healthier. This, like I said, it sounds simple, and I get a lot of people in my office that come in and say, I'm just here because I want to learn how to eat healthier. And that sounds like a really easy patient visit, and that's actually one of the hardest patient visits I have. Why? Because what does that mean? What does eating healthier mean? Every single one of us in here will probably have a different definition. It may be kind of similar, but that word healthy is going to mean different things to different people. So in 30 minutes from now, you guys are all going to have a similar take-home message that might mean a little bit different to you than it does to your neighbor. So we're going to go through a couple of things about how to start eating healthier for you, even during this crazy eat frenzy season we're about to walk into. So we're going to talk about how to identify your eating habits and what you can do to start making healthier food choices, how to make healthier food choices, how to eat healthier foods. You can kind of get a little glimpse of the future right there, like eating more plants and less junk. And then how to start making small changes that are sustainable and impactful. That sentence right there, once again, a simple sentence, but that's really the key, is small changes that are sustainable. We've all heard of these crazy diets that are out there. And a big problem with a lot of these crazy diets are the sustainability. I can do anything for a week. I can do anything for a month or 6 months. But what can I do for the rest of my life? And that's what we're really focusing on. So making this a lifestyle and not really a diet. So a lifestyle and healthy eating habits. It's that word habit. So when I ask people like, why is healthy eating not a habit? We talk about, well, what is a habit in your life? Well, brushing my teeth is a habit, or watching TV at night, or kissing my husband or your wife or my dog good morning in the mornings. That becomes a habit for us. Is it a habit or is it routine? And that's what we want to kind of bring in. The more I start to do stuff, it becomes a routine. So why is healthy eating not routine for us? We don't do it every day. So if you're to say, I don't brush my teeth every day, we think that's weird. Or, I see my dog every day and I don't pet her every day. So why is healthy eating not an everyday for us? It doesn't have to be overwhelming. So making these habits that last is I'm making these small, gradual changes. And we want to find something that you can do every day. So one of the first things to do is one of my favorite things to do is getting a grasp on what you're eating, first of all. So taking a week, a day or two to just observe your current eating habits. Who in here has ever kept a food diary? Oh, how many of you just rolled your eyes at me when I said that word? Right? Blech, food diary. Why do you think we ask you to do a food? Not just me. Why dietitians ask you? Why does any provider ever ask you to do a food diary? So you're mindful? Why do you check your bank balance? Why do you keep track of your finances? Because if you didn't, what would happen? And maybe some of you in here don't, and maybe that works for you guys. It would not work for me. But we manage our finances because if I didn't manage my finances, pretty soon I'd kind of be in trouble. So we ask you to kind of keep a check on your food intake to make you pay attention to it. So you can kind of figure out where the good stuff or maybe the not so good stuff are coming in. So it's really for accountability. It's for awareness. So I can pay attention. It helps you understand your eating habits, maybe where your problem areas are. It also helps keep you honest. So I went out to dinner last night with some friends. I came in this morning. I'm sitting in my office, and I thought, Holly, you need to put that in your food diary. So I did. I know I got to be real careful today with what I do. But had I not put that in there, I probably wouldn't have been as careful today with what I'm doing. So it just kind of makes you pay attention. To me, I equate that the same as if I had gone out last night on a shopping spree and then had not come back and made that accountable in my bank book. I wouldn't have paid as much attention to what I was eating. So I think it also gives you a flexible control of what you're eating. Food diaries we think of as punishment. It's not a punishment. It just kind of helps you see, if I eat this, maybe I need to be a little bit more careful with that. So doing a food diary kind of helps you realize how good or how bad your eating habits may be. And you can see that pattern right there in black and white. So there are lots of different options for food diaries. You don't have to do that same old standard, write stuff down in a notebook unless that works for you. Some people really enjoy the tangibility of writing it down. Absolutely keep doing that. If you're more of an electronic, I want to kind of do things on my phone or on my computer, there are tons of apps these days. So if you guys like to use apps on your phone and the computer, these are some great ones. MyFitnessPal, Lose It, Spark People. My catchphrase for a lot of patients is, you bite it, you write it. If it goes in your mouth, it's going to get written down somewhere. Just like if I spend the money, it's going to get tracked somewhere in my bank. Whether I'm keeping an actual bank ledger or whether I'm using my online bank account. It's going to get somewhere noted that I'm spending or I'm using, so I can kind of start to see my own habits. I also use this for people who have food allergies or for people who have food sensitivities, for people who are gaining weight. It just kind of helps to see maybe where can I do a little bit better. Or maybe I'm doing amazing and want to show everybody how awesome I am. So FitnessPal. This is actual excerpt from Holly's food diary. Now, not every day is this amazing. I just happened to pick a great one because I wanted to just pick a great one. I'm not going to show you last night's. So I'm sorry it's kind of small. It's kind of hard to piece all this together, but all this work was actually done for me. So the beauty of an electronic food diary is I didn't have to do this. All I had to do was pick what food I had, and it brought the calories, the fat, the sugar, all of it for me. So for anybody who's done an old-fashioned food diary where you had to look it up and write it down, I didn't have to do any of that. So I love these electronic food diaries because it cuts a lot of work out for you. So I just wanted to kind of show you an excerpt of it. So I really encourage you guys today, if you do nothing else, start to pay attention to what you're eating by writing it down somewhere. I bet you'll be amazed. And even people who are like, I know what I'm doing, I have a good idea what I'm doing, and I'll challenge them to track for 3 days, they'll come back to me and the word wow usually comes out of their mouth. Wow, I didn't realize. I didn't, wow. So I bet you guys might have an eye-opener. Do it this week, not next week, because Thanksgiving's coming up. All right, one thing I really want to see in that food diary is our second step. How can I next start to eat healthfully? So sorry. I'm often asked, if you could make one change to your diet, what would that one change be? Sometimes people will be in interviews like, what's your last comment? What's the one last thing you can say? What's one thing we can all do? Eat more plants. Eat more fruits and vegetables. Now, you've heard this over and over, right? You guys are probably sick of, yeah, a dietitian's going to tell me to eat more fruits and vegetables. But why do we say this? It's not because they teach us to say that in school. It's because there's actually some real merit behind this. So we know that fruits and vegetables do some amazing things in your body. So increased intake of fruits and vegetables can actually decrease the risk of developing certain types of cancers. It can actually decrease the risk of developing certain types of other diseases, such as type 2 diabetes, coronary heart disease, high blood pressure, and help maintaining a healthy weight. Obesity is now classified as a disease. Plants also produce these natural compounds that we cannot reproduce in any form of pill or supplement. These compounds are called polyphenols and flavonoids. Now, I know you guys get a lot of technical terms thrown at you. This is not Jeopardy. There will not be a test. But I just want to show you why these foods are so amazing. These natural chemical compounds are the ones we hear so much about that do such great things. You guys have heard that thing about if you eat carrots, it improves your eyesight. Or when you eat tomatoes, it can improve your heart. These flavonoids are compounds in fruits and vegetables that give us some really, really great benefits. So, for example, our red, purple, and blue foods, so think about tomatoes, or think about red bell peppers or strawberries. Purple and blue foods, think about blueberries and blackberries. These foods contain a compound that's called an anthocyanin. Once again, there's no test. But these compounds have been shown to reduce cardiovascular disease, cognitive decline, and risk of developing certain cancers. These are also called anti-carcinogenic. Now, that may be a word you guys have heard. So that's why we tell you to eat these fruits and vegetables, because they do some amazing things in your body. So helping cognitive decline, we all need that one. Lord knows I need it. So helping improve my heart function. We've all heard about berries being so amazing for you, haven't we? So if I told you that there was a food out there that can do these amazing, wonderful things for you, why are we not eating more of them? So how come you guys don't eat more fruits and vegetables? Some people are like, I just don't like them. I don't like vegetables. So we can try lots of different things. You guys had a variety of fruits out there that you chose from this morning. So one of the best diets out there is called a plant-based diet. Who's heard of a plant-based diet? Yay, plant-based diets. Plant-based diet means something different to every person in here. And this is where I said we're going to get a little different takeaway. A plant-based diet is basically a diet that emphasizes the minimal processed foods, but you're getting more foods from plants, modest amount of fish, modest amount of meats, modest amount of dairy or red meat. But most of our diet is coming from plants. So for some people, that may mean going vegan or vegetarian. For some people, that may mean I'm going to cut out meat one time a week. So it means a little bit different thing to everybody. But what it means is I'm getting most of my diet from plants. So one thing you guys could do if you want to start bringing in some fruits and veggies, replace maybe one meal a week with a vegetarian option. So here's kind of a day where my breakfast is whole wheat toast with hummus and avocado. I don't know about you, but that sounds really delicious to me. Lunch is some vegetable soup, maybe a spinach salad and some apple slices. Last time of year, it is soup and crock pot season. Who doesn't love a good vegetable soup? It's a great way to get some veggies in there. On a cold, snowy night, you just got a plant-based meal right there. Maybe not dump a bunch of cheese in there. And then for dinner, grilled salmon, maybe some quinoa and some broccoli. So you see this is a plant-based diet, but I still have some fish in there. Who's had quinoa? It's an excellent grain. Quinoa is a great source of soluble fiber and protein. So lots of times people think, oh, if I don't have meat, I'm not going to get protein. You can actually get a lot of protein from plants, from beans and from quinoa. Beans are one of my favorite foods, a great source of protein. There's also this movement sweeping the nation called Meatless Monday. Who's heard of Meatless Monday? Well, you maybe Monday's the only day we go vegetarian, so I like meat the rest of the days, but not Monday. You can try it if you want to. They have a great website. It's called meatlessmonday.com. They have lots of recipes and lots of ideas. So you're basically replacing meat with a plant-based protein source like beans or legumes, grains, quinoa, nuts, and seeds. And the average adult is only looking for about 75, maybe 100 grams of protein. So we don't need as much as people tell us that we do, with some exceptions. Now, some people with certain medical conditions or treatment methods may need a little bit more. The average adult does not need 400 grams of protein per day, as a lot of people will have you believe. All right, once again, people think, oh, I can't eat that many vegetables. I can eat some fruit, but that's a lot of vegetables to have to eat. But how much do you really have to eat to get what's your recommended amount that your diet will tell you? So your RDA, what you hear from the government is 4 to 9 servings of fruits and veggies per day. That sounds like a lot. That sounds overwhelming to me. But a serving is only a half a cup cooked or 1 cup of raw veggies. That's not a huge amount. So when you're serving yourself some spinach tonight or you've got your vegetable soup, look at your portions. I bet it's really easy to get that half cup cooked or a whole cup raw. Or fruit, 1 small piece of fruit or a half of a large piece of fruit. So if you got a banana, there's 2 servings of fruit right there. 15 grapes. I don't know anyone who really only eats 15 grapes. We eat a whole lot more than that. Or a 1/4 of a cup of dried fruit. Same situation. Raisins, we usually pop those like candy. So a serving size of raisins is only 1/4 of a cup. So it's great you're getting raisins, but maybe also want to watch how much. So when you talk about how much fruits and vegetables I need to get, it's really not as overwhelming when you look at what these portions are. So step number 2, how can I start increasing my fruits and vegetables? Really, really easy things. If you don't want to start adopting a plant-based lifestyle and you just want to start increasing some fruits and vegetables, let's try, maybe if I'm going to have some pancakes on the weekend, can I just add some berries to it? If I'm going to have a ham sandwich, instead of using mayonnaise, can I just put some avocado on it? Maybe for dinner, I'll have some sliced sweet potatoes instead of having some macaroni and cheese. Not sweet potato casserole with marshmallows. That's not really what I'm talking about. Top a baked potato with salsa rather than butter. So these are not huge changes. I'm not asking you guys to go out and just start noshing on a carrot like Bugs Bunny would do. Really easy ways you can start to bring in some vegetables. I know it sounds crazy, salsa. She says salsa is a vegetable. It's better than nothing, isn't it? So yeah. So even having berries on your pancakes. While I would not encourage having pancakes all the time, if it's a special occasion, I have pancakes maybe once a month and I throw some berries on there, you just got some great health benefits from those berries. So step number 2 into your food diary is we're going to try to see where I can just add some extra fruits and vegetables throughout the day. All right, the third thing we can start doing to our diet is getting rid of that junk food. Of course I'm going to tell you guys that. Come on. But here's my next catchphrase to tell a lot of people, is you're not a garbage can. So why are you putting garbage in? So what kind of food is garbage? So junk foods. So we often think about, oh, those processed foods. You guys have probably heard that buzzword a lot, processed food, right? But there's a couple of different types of processed foods. There are still some organic junk foods out there. A cookie from Whole Foods is still a cookie. I can look up and down the Whole Foods or Trader Joe's aisles, and I still see Whole Foods and Trader Joe's version of Fruity Pebbles. So it doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be a healthy option. So when I talk about these junk foods or these highly processed foods, what kind of foods do you guys think about? Pizza? Salami? Potato chips? Crackers? Hot dogs? Doritos? Twinkies? French fries. I'm taking all the fun out of stuff for you, aren't you, Arna? So these are all highly processed foods, and what these highly processed foods mean, they've gone through a lot of production. They basically resemble nothing like what they started off to be. But we're getting no health benefit from them either. So what kind of benefit am I getting from potato chips? Nothing. So you might have also heard these called empty calorie foods. So I'm getting some calories, but I'm getting zero nutrition from there. So a lot of times I'll also hear, well, they're in my house because my kids want them. Or I've got soda in my house because my husband wants soda. And I always look at people and I say, do your kids need Doritos? Does your husband need soda? Does your dog need a hot dog? So the truth is, no one needs these foods. So if I have them in the house, I'm like, well, chips are in the house because my kids want them. Chances are I'm also going to go for them. If they're in the house, chances are I'm going to eat them. We want to not just keep you healthy, we want to keep the whole entire family healthy. So kind of reevaluate, why am I bringing this stuff in? Is it really for the kids, or am I going to nosh on it too? Another thing about these foods is that they will never keep you full. Who's ever had 10 Doritos and felt satisfied? I'm good to go. I don't need to eat 3 more hours. No one. Who's ever had 1 Twinkie and you're done? That's it. No one. Even French fries. You eat some French fries, you want more. There was a commercial probably about 10 years ago that said there's a reason why they're called chips, because no one eats just one. There's an S on the end for a reason. So these foods, there's a lot of research actually to show that these foods can actually have some addiction properties when you combine sugar, fat, and salt together. So it's very interesting, this research. Not just sugar by itself. Who's really eating out of the sugar bowl? Or not just salt. No one's like pouring salt shaker. And not just fat. We're not just usually eating from the Crisco can. When I combine these foods together, like a cookie, which has both fats and sugar, or I've got Doritos, which is both salt and fat. But when I have these foods together, it can trigger some responses that keep you kind of addicted to them. So it's kind of hard to walk away from. It's very interesting research that's kind of emerging in the field. And I tend to instantly hear that and agree with it. So when you hear that and you think about, oh yeah, when I eat cookies, I want to eat 12 more. Think about what kind of foods happen when you guys eat them. Have you ever eaten things like potato chips or French fries and you just want to keep eating them? As opposed to when you eat a banana, do you want to keep eating bananas? I eat 1 yogurt, I'm kind of done. Even quinoa. You ever had more than 1 cup of quinoa? You're kind of done. But chips and hot dogs and that junk food, you want to just keep eating it. It's never satisfying. So we kind of get addicted to it. We just want to keep eating it. So getting the junk foods out of our house, 1, it's going to help me improve my diet. 2, it's going to help me not want to sit there and keep eating it. But 3, this is garbage type of food. We're not getting any health properties from it. Am I telling you that you can never, ever, ever have it? No, I'm not. And that's what we're going to move to in a second. All right, so trying to implement these three things of tracking, of getting some fruits and vegetables in, of kind of getting some of our stuff out. Couple little tricks for you here. You might have heard of the 5-ingredient rule. Has anybody else besides me heard of that one? It's kind of a trendy thing. Oh, up there, if you're reading your ingredient labels and there's more than 5 ingredients, you should not eat it. You shouldn't eat foods that have more than 5 ingredients. While I think this is a good rule of thumb, I don't think it's always applicable. Excuse me. How many of you are going to cook for Thanksgiving? How many of you cook healthy food for Thanksgiving? Yay. I cook a lot of healthy food too for Thanksgiving, and sometimes my healthy meals have more than 5 ingredients in them. So favorite breads is Ezekiel bread. Who's had Ezekiel bread? Love that stuff. Ezekiel bread has 10 ingredients in it. It's all different kinds of grains. So it's got 10 ingredients. It doesn't exactly fit into this 5-ingredient rule. I think it's kind of a good rule of thumb. This 5-ingredient rule was really meant to kind of keep you away from the junk foods. So if you were to pick up a package of chips or pick up a package of gummy worms and you happen to read the ingredients, it's going to have a long list of weird things in there. Another trick is aiming for 3 colors. So when I sit down to have a snack, not just having like Cheetos, it's a 1-color food, but having a snack that's at least 3 colors. So maybe a trail mix, it's like some nuts and maybe some dried fruit and a little bit of dark chocolate, small amount of it. Or I've got some yogurt with maybe some granola and some berries mixed on top. So research has shown that when you have a mixture like that, not only are you more satisfied, your brain is more satisfied, and chances are you're getting more nutritious food. So when we look at food that's generally that 1 color like that, we're not getting a lot of great nutrition. The last is breaking your routine. So if it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon, every single day I'm hitting that vending machine, I get those chips or my Snickers bar, maybe we start to break the routine. Can I go for a walk? Can I bring a snack with me? I can bring a banana with me pretty easily. Keep the healthy stuff handy in the junky food band. Meaning, if I keep the good stuff around, I'm likely to reach for that. If I keep the junk stuff away from me, I'm likely to not reach for it. So that office candy bowl, if it's sitting on my secretary's desk, I'm just going to keep reaching for it. If it's sitting in Bobby's desk 3 offices from me, I'm not going to keep getting up to go get it. So the further away it is from you, I'm not going to go get it. Meaning, if it's not in my house, I'm not going to walk to Whole Foods or Jewel and go get it. So keeping it out of your house. All right, you don't have to do all of this at once. Making 1 change is better than no changes at all. So picking 2 or 3 goals, my goals are to, let's cut down on my junk food, or let's start having some salsa on my baked potato, and just try to do 1 thing at a time. I'll pick 2 or 3 and do 1 per week. As I get that 1 down, I'll move to the next one the next week, and the next one the next week. And as soon as I've got those 3, I'll pick some more. So you don't have to do everything at once. So start easy and start small. For example, if I usually skip breakfast, just grab a banana in the morning. Or I'll leave some fruit at work. If I usually drink soda every single day, maybe I'll just cut down to 2, maybe 3 times per week. If I usually have fast food at lunch, maybe at least 2 times this week I'll bring something with me. So you're not banning it all together, just where can I start to make some small changes? So it doesn't have to mean deprivation. Like I said, we're not totally cutting out all of that fun stuff. You still need to live life. We're going to have birthday parties. We're going to have holidays. So what happens if you mess up? What happened when you messed up at work? Did you quit work? I hope not. What happened if you're a parent? What happened when you messed up as a parent? Did you quit being a parent? Hope not. You keep going. You're going to have days where you mess up. So it's kind of about how you get back on track. I didn't do so hot today. I'll do better tomorrow. I like to live by the 80-20 rule. If 80% of my life I'm eating kind of healthy, I'm getting my fruits and vegetables, I'm paying attention, 20% is the fun stuff. Going out with your friends last night, Thanksgiving next week. All right, so in your goodie bag, you've got 3 steps you can make today. Start tracking your diet, eating more plants, and keeping the junk food to a minimum. All right, there we go. I need it. It's 10 o'clock. Do you want to do